Hi, welcome to my video on review 1 of sequence and series unit. And this review is on videos 1 to 9, and the questions are arranged in order as in the videos. And as you can see, the total on this review is 26, and all my reviews can be treated as a quiz that you can get a score of to see how well you do it. And if you want to notice, we have 1 of 5 pages, so you need 4 extra pages to work out the answers and give yourself a score and then total it at the end. And if you pause the video and work out each of these questions on each page, and when you're finished, total the page and do all the questions, do your total, and see what score you would have on your quiz. Let's start. The domain of any sequence is the set of, we're going to say, natural numbers. Natural numbers, that means the n belong to the naturals. Give yourself a mark if you're right. Tn equals negative 6n plus 1. Find the value of t2. Well, t2 means that's Tn, so that means n is 2. So we put n is 2, and we go negative 6, 2 plus 1, negative 12 plus 1, and we have a negative 11. So if you have a negative 11, give yourself a mark. And number 3, f1 equals 6, and the f of n equals 10 times the f1 minus negative 3 times the f of n minus 1. N is greater than 1, and n belongs to the natural numbers. Notice that n can't be 1, because then you get the f of 0, and we can't work it out. So the f of n is the f of 2, means that, let's put a 2 right here, and the f of 1 is 6, so that's 10 times 6, and this is, n is 2, so this is 2 minus 1. So let's simplify this. This becomes 10 times 6 is 60. And this is negative 3 times. 2 minus 1 is 1. So this is the f of 1. And so we complete it. 60. Negative f of 1 is 6 again. We put that in. 60. Subtract 18, because we've got to multiply before we subtract. And that gives us 42. If you have 42, give yourself a mark. So notice you have to use the f of 1 in order to get the f of 2. Number 4, this is a graph. This is n, and this is the t of n. These are the ordered pairs. Notice they're dots, and this is the graph of what we call Tn. So is the graph discrete, linear, discrete, quadratic, continuous, linear, continuous, quadratic. Continuous means I would have a connection between all of these points, a solid line, so it's not continuous, linear, or continuous, quadratic. So it's discrete, linear, or quadratic. Linear is a line, so A is the answer. And notice discrete means the graph is going to be made up of dots. And dots because we can only use the natural numbers. N is a set of natural numbers, and the natural numbers, you can't have numbers like a half or 1.5 or 2.1. You can only have a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, etc., etc. So they're dots. Give yourself a mark if you have discrete linear. Number 5, T1 is negative 3. Tn is T lowercase to n minus 1 plus 4. N is greater than 1, where n belongs to the natural numbers. So notice n has to be greater than 1. That means n is natural numbers, so we're dealing with a 2. We got to find the t3. So this is the recursive expression. We can't find t3 because we don't have t2. So we got to put t2 in. We got t1 is negative 3, so let's try t2. t2, t of 2 minus 1 plus 4. And the t of 2 minus 1 is the t of 1 plus 4. So the t of 1 is negative 3. plus 4. So the t of 2 is 1. Now we can go and get t3. t3, put a 3 here, put a 3 here. 3 minus 1 plus 4. So t3, so the t of 3 minus 1 is t2. So notice we have t1, negative 3. We needed t2 in order to get t3. You can't get t3 unless you have t2. So I worked out t2, 1. Now I can put a 1 in here. And t3 becomes 5. So if you have 5, give yourself a mark. Number 6, don't forget, pause the video and work these out before I do to see if you understand what you're doing. If you don't, look back at the previous videos and review them again. Find the first 3 terms of Tn equals n squared plus 2n. So the first 3 terms are T1. And so that means n is 1. So we put a 1 in the expression. 1 squared is 1. 2 times 1 is 2. So we get a 3. Now we'll do T2, which is term 2. So we put a 2 in the place of n. So it's n squared plus 2n. So T2, n is 2, 2 here, 2 here. Work it out. We do the powers first, 4. Then we multiply to get 4. And we add to get 8. So T3 is putting 3 in the place of n. So it's 3 squared plus 2 times 3. 3 squared is 9. 2 times 3 is 6. So it's 15. So the first 3 terms are, so if you have in a sequence, if you have 3, then 8, and then 15, and they keep on going. Notice they're going up by, and it's a quadratic, so it's not an arithmetic, so it's not going up by the same amount. And there are more if you want. So if you did T4, you get the 4th one. T5, you get the 5th one. So if you have these 3 numbers, then give yourself a mark. Total up the page, and the page is at a 6. Okay, let's continue. Don't forget, pause the video and work out these answers beforehand, and then see if you're right when you play it back. So find K in D3. D3 is a level 3 difference. So this level difference here is 1. So 10 minus 4 is 6. 19 minus 10 is 9. 34 minus 19 is 15. That's D1. Notice they're different. This is level 2 difference. 9 minus 6 is 3. 15 minus 9 is 6. So that's D2. They're not the same. D3, if you subtract again, 6 minus 3 is 3. So K is 3. So if you have a 3 for K, give yourself a mark. Number 8, D1 is constant. Find the value of H. If D1 is constant, this is the sequence here. It turns up the sequence. And this is D1 right here, level 1 difference. But we know if D1 is constant, we know that 2x plus 6 is equal to x plus 5. These two numbers are the same. So we write an equation, 2x minus x, 5 minus 6, x equals negative 1. So when x is negative 1, we sub a negative 1 into here. So 2, negative 1 plus 6. So that's negative 2 plus 6. So that's a 4. And they're equal. So this must be a 4. Well, let's check. X plus 5. X is negative 1. Negative 1 plus 5 is 4. So the two of them are 4. So the D1 difference is constant or the same. So if we want H, we don't want A, we want H. So if this is a 4, what number subtract 6 gives you 4? And the answer is 10. 10 subtract 6 gives you 4. So if you get a mark for getting the negative 1, and you get a mark for getting the 10, 2 marks altogether. Negative 1, making them equal, and getting next negative 1 gives you a mark. Getting 10 is a mark, 2 marks. Number 9, a sequence is arithmetic if the level 1 difference is, and the word is, you can say constant, or you could also say if the level 1 difference is the same. Constant or the same, either word will do. Give yourself a mark. Which sequence is arithmetic? Remember, an arithmetic sequence has a level 1 difference, constant. So this is 4 minus 1, 3. 6 minus 4, 2. No, not constant. 8 minus 2 is 6. 16 minus 8, 8. No, not constant. 7 minus 3, 4. 11 minus 7, 4. So C is the answer. C is the arithmetic sequence. Let's check the next one, just see if there's not two of them. 5 minus 4 is 1. 7 minus 5 is 2. So this is a no. So the answer C is the arithmetic sequence because it's got a constant level 1 difference. That's the level 1 and the constant each subtraction of the previous terms are 4. Now, number 11, find Tn equals an plus b for this sequence. So we get the sequence, and this is the equation of an arithmetic sequence. That means there should be a constant level 1 different. 11 minus 5 is 6. 17 minus 11 is 6. 23 minus 17 is 6. So that means the D1 difference is 6. And the first term of the sequence, T1, is 5. And the equation that we have is, for this sequence, we start off with T1 plus n minus 1 times D. So T1 is 5, n minus 1, D is 6. So we have to multiply before we add. 5. 6 times n is 6n. 6 times negative 1 is negative 6. So that becomes 6n minus 1. So Tn is 6n minus 1. If you have your difference, give yourself a mark. If you worked out this equation, give yourself a mark. 2 marks altogether. Add up your total. Hopefully it's 7 out of 7. And let's continue. Number 12. How many terms are in this sequence? Well, that means we got to find what this number. This is T1, first one. That's the first one. That's the second, third, fourth, and this is way up the line. So how many terms? What this is going to be? So again, let's put a 1 here, and a 2 here, and that's a 3, and that's a 4. So this is T1, T2, etc. So what is the difference? So 60 minus 70 is negative 10. 50 minus 60 is negative 10. So that means the D1 difference is negative 10. And the first T1 is 70. So we got to find out what this one is. What term is a negative 220? So let's get the equation first. Tn is T1 plus n minus 1d. So T1 is 70, n minus 1, and the difference is negative 10. So 70, negative 10 times n, negative 10n. Negative 10 times negative 1 is plus 10. So the term is negative 10n plus 80. And check it out just to see. Put a 1 in. N is 1. Put a 1 in. Negative 10 and 80 is 70. Put a 2 in. 2 times negative 10, negative 20 plus 80 is 60. So this is the right equation. Now we want to find what this term is. So this term right here is the Tn term. So that means if I have the equation Tn equals negative 10n plus 80, I need to find what n is. So Tn is a negative 220, negative 10 times n plus 80. So move the 10n over to become a plus. Move the minus 120 over to become a plus. So 10n equals 300, and divide by 10, n equals 30. So if you have the level, one difference is negative 10, give yourself a mark. If you have this equation, give yourself a mark. And if you have the final answer, 30, give yourself 3 marks altogether. Number 13, 3, 7, 11, 14, etc. is the sequence. Continues on. The graph of a sequence above has a slope of, and if we notice that 7 minus 3 is 4, 11 minus 7 is 4. Notice 14, oh, I said the slope is 4. So in a little error here, this should be a 15 in order to make it the graph of a slope. So this is a 4 to be the same. So my 14 there, little error, that's a 15. 15 minus 11 is 4. So if you graph, the difference is a 4. So your D1 difference is 4. And that means that the slope of your graph is going to be a 4. I apologize. I thought I had a 15 there, but I didn't subtract right. So that should be 15 minus 11 is 4. The D1 difference is 4. The slope is 4. That means that the A value in this equation is a 4. So that A there will be a 4. Because in an arithmetic sequence, which is what this is, D1 equals the slope equals the A. And they're all 4. Give yourself a mark for 4 and a mark for this 4 here. 2 marks altogether. And apologize for that error. Sometimes when you read it over, you don't even pick up your mistake. I make an error. Apologize. Number 14, an arithmetic sequence is a linear function. If it's a linear function, then we have the domain of an arithmetic sequence. The domain is n belongs to the natural numbers. But the range has to be written out a certain way. But we have to get the equation because all the values of n that make this true, which is, n is 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. These values here are 7, 10, 13, 16, etc. These are the range values. So they go along with what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for n is. So we have to get the equation because whatever values of n satisfy the equation, put in whatever values of n that are put into the equation, that's the values of the range or the TNs that come out. So 10 minus 7 is 3, 13 minus 10 is 3, 16 minus 13 is 3, so the D1 difference is 3. And the first term is 7, T1 is 7. So the equation Tn equals T1 plus n minus 1d. So T1 is 7 plus n minus 1. D is 3. So 7, 3 times n, 3n. 3 times negative 1, negative 3. So 3n plus 4. Tn is the equation. Tn, make that an n. So the range is defined as a set of all Tn such that, and we write down the equation, Tn equals 3n plus 4, and n belongs to the natural. So that's how you write the range of this arithmetic sequence. In other words, if you take a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, etc. So when you put T1 in, you'll get the 7. When you put T2 in, you'll get the 10. And so for all the values of n that go into this equation, all of these numbers are the range values, like an x and a y when you're dealing with linear lines, not with dots. This is discrete, so we got just numbers, dots on a graph. Number 15, find Tn equals an plus b if T4 is 10 and we got a common difference of 3. Now I'm going to do it one way, and then I'm going to do it another. Let's write down the ordered pair. So this is term 4, so that means n is 4 and Tn is 10. So this term here represents the n, which is 4, and Tn, which is 10. So the common difference that we have is 3. So based on that, we can put in, let's put Tn equals T1 plus n minus 1d. Tn is 10. T1, we don't know. But we know that n is 4 minus 1, and the difference is 3. So 10 equals T1. 3 times n is 3n. Oh, we also have n is 4, so I can fill a 4 in here too. So the only unknown is the T1. Tn is 10. That's a plus sign. N is 4 right here. And D is 3. So the only unknown is T1. So continue. We have to multiply to get the 9. And then let the T1 stay there. We get 10 minus 9. We get a 1. So the equation is Tn equals T1. Can we get T1? Not yet. So we got the equation. We have to go into T1 plus n minus 1d. So T1 is 1. N minus 1 times 3. So that's 3n minus 3. So Tn is 3n minus 2. And so if you have T1 is there, give yourself a mark. If you have the equation, give yourself a mark, 2 marks altogether. So that's 9 on that page totaling. Total of 9. Hopefully everything is going well. And we have a few more to do to finish off the first up to the 9th video. Find a common level 1 difference. Oh, sorry, I read find a common level 2 difference. I don't know where I say 1 at, but that's my brain working. So level 1, 0 minus 3, negative 3. Negative 9 minus 0, negative 9. Negative 24 minus negative 9 is a negative 24 plus 9. So that gives you negative 15. Subtract, so that's D1. So here comes D2. Negative 9, subtract negative 3 is a negative 9 plus 3. So that's negative 6. Negative 15, subtract negative 9. And so it's a negative 15 plus 9. And that's negative 6. So the D2 difference is negative 6. So if you have that, give yourself a mark. And number 17, again, you're pausing the video. Hopefully everything is working out okay. Pause the video, work out the answer first and see how you're going to do. Find T4 if this sequence is, the sequence is 5, 8, 13, and 10x is quadratic. And find T4. Well, this is T4 right here. This is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is T1, T2, T3. This is T4. So rub that out there. So this is term 1, term 2, term 3, term 4. This is T4. So to get this term, I have to get what x is and sub it back in. So that means it has a level quadratic, linear. Linear, arithmetic is linear, and quadratic is degree 2. So quadratic is like n squared plus is an plus bn plus c. And arithmetic is we have an plus b. But in a quadratic we have degree 2. So we have a level 2 difference. So 8 minus 5 is 3. 13 minus 8 is 5. And this level difference here is 10x minus 13. So that's D1. Let's go again. 5 minus 3 is 2. Now we got 10x minus 13 minus 5. So this is 10x minus 18. So this is a level 2 difference. That means that 10x minus 18 must be equal to 2. So I said a 10, wrote down a 2. So watch my brain. My brain works funny. I got to be careful. So 10x minus 18 equals 2. 10x equals 2 plus 18. 10x equals 20. Divide by 10, and x equals 2. So if x equals 2, then if you put x is 2, so if I put 2 in here, I'm going to get 20 minus 18, which is going to be a 2 because they're equal. I know that's going to be a 2 if I put it back in. but not because there's a 2. It gives me it's going to be 2, because when I put 2 in, it works out to be a value of 2. Now, if you want the fourth term, so T4 is 10x, that means 10x is 2, so that T4 is 20. So you get a mark for the 2 and a mark for the 20, 2 marks altogether. And the last one, if Tn is negative 2n squared plus 6n plus 7, find T4. So that means Tn, and that means that T4, Tn, that means n is 4. So the T of 4 is negative 2. You sub 4 in the place of n. So we're subbing 4 in. So we square this first. So let's do this first. 4 squared is 16, and then we'll write down. So we do the power first. So the exponent is done. We're doing PEMDAS. P-E-M-D-A-S. We do the inside the brackets, but there's no the brackets are already done. So we do the exponent, we get 16. Now we got that done. We multiply and divide from left to right. So we'll get negative 32 plus 24, and we add and subtract last. So negative 32 and 24 is negative 8. Negative 8 minus add on 7 is negative 1. If you add these two up, you get 31. So negative 32 plus 31 is negative 1. So if you have negative 1, give yourself a mark. And that's a total of 4 for that page. And if you total up all your pages, take all your pages and total them up. When you do, then you put your mark over 26, divide the denominator into the numerator with a calculator, change it to a decimal, move your decimal 2 places to the right to get your percent, and see how well you did on your the videos from 1 to 9. And if you liked, hopefully you did well, but that's the first. I have another review right after this one. Next video is on the other part of the unit. If you like my video, click the like button, subscribe button, visit my math website, www.mathfullyexplained.com, to find more information about me, my videos, and the content. And that's the content that's on my YouTube channel called Math Fully Explained. Thank you for viewing my video. Bye-bye.